And in my view, actually, this guy Bryan Johnson, although many people say about him all sorts of things, I think he's a visionary. The reason why oftentimes he gets attacked is because he is at a level of consciousness that most people cannot even comprehend. And therefore, sometimes when people don't understand something, they try to attack it just to bring it down in their own perspective so they can feel better about where they are. With that being said, he said something very important in here. Not just the fact that, look, I've seen this, I've noticed this since 2016 and maybe even before that, before his talk. But this feels big. It feels consequential. Like, I don't know exactly how it's going to play out on what time frame, but I can feel something is shifting and it's going to be very important for us, right? And he, as he shares, like, my whole work is about how do we survive this moment. But here's where he said something very important that most people would actually miss. In order for us to be able to really figure things out, we will have to sober ourselves. What does this mean? It means that we have to get our mind back. It means that we have to become less distracted. We have to stop wasting our energy and our focus and just chasing shiny objects. We have to really have that space where we can collectively, as a species, we can really put our minds together and have the best minds work at it in terms of where next. Sobering ourselves means exactly that, being sharp. Well, think about what is the opposite of being sober. And I don't mean alcohol, but that's a good example. When you drink alcohol, basically you are dumbing yourself down. Like, your mind becomes less, you become less intelligent. And the more you drink, the less intelligent you become. You start to not even being able to actually speak properly or coherently. In that state, obviously, you're not going to be able to really be sharp to understand, oh, I can see what's going on, and I can almost formulate a plan how to address the situation that I can comprehend. Like, basically, I can see reality for what it is, and I can devise a plan moving forward. You won't be able to do all of that because, well, your prefrontal cortex is shutting down, so therefore, or it's kind of like asleep, and therefore you cannot really use your critical thinking skills, like your executive functions. And sobering ourselves as a species is exactly what needs to happen for us to go through this moment. That means that really anyone who actually recognizes the danger should find a way to contribute to build towards a world that is less distracted. Anything that contributes to the distractions, anything that basically ruins people focus, is something that attacks our whole species. And of course, right now, if you think about it, all these companies that really make money based on your, or like they are making money on your focus and then your attention, they are the most successful companies. And this is why we need to sober collectively, because collectively we have lost our minds. But you see what's the danger, like what's the uphill battle here is that doing the wrong thing, it feels cool. It's encouraged by all your friends at society level, in all the circles that you spend time in. It's just common sense. Everyone is doing it, so therefore you as an individual don't really dare to think outside the box. Or at least, even if you would, you're not really encouraged to do that. Like, like the whole incentive structure is it's made such that you do more of the things that other people do without recognizing that we are broken as a society. There are all sorts of wrongs. Like we lost our agency, our capacity to critically and objectively evaluate our life and then to really devise a clear plan moving forward. We have lost our capacity to achieve clarity. Everyone is confused. Everyone feels like they're running in circles because they do. But instead of recognizing, oh, I need to sober myself, I need to clear my mind, I need to get away from distractions, what do? They distract themselves even more to run away from the otherwise the healthy feeling that something is wrong. So I think that Bryan Johnson here sends like a very good warning, but I'm not sure if really people are going to either just hear it, but like, oh yeah, we need to sober ourselves. Yeah, our species is in danger. We need to figure things out. Like, yeah, but what's really important is to have people who will actually do something about it. And again, big respect for him because he is talking about it and he is also getting all this flack or all this flame for the things that he says, but we need to start recognizing that different different ideas and different philosophies are not necessarily bad just because they are different from what we have been accustomed to. If you are born, think about it, if you are born in, I don't know, the 2000s, and all you know is just TikTok and social media and how to do funny dances, someone like this might sound like a freak, might sound like this guy's weird. But what really needs to happen is to understand that there is more outside of the context that you are brought up in. So, whatever is your context, you have to recognize that that is a bubble that always lives into a bigger bubble, and your job is to get curious, what is outside my bubble? And if you would do that, you would understand that, oh, this guy actually, he is really taking care of something that almost nobody does. You say his philosophy of don't die, it's, first of all, he found like a very catchy name for it. But if you think about it, what it means like, hey, your life is valuable. Like, it means nothing that you think that is important in the moment, like, oh my God, I should get into this conflict, I should risk my life driving fast on the highway because I want to impress my friends or whatever. Like, none of that actually matters, like, none of it. But we do it all the time. And again, in my view, he is nothing less than a visionary because he recognizes how precious life is and how that should be actually paired with really like a change into how we see the value of our life, which most of the times we don't. Like, this is why we have concepts like, or people at times sometimes say like, oh, what are you doing? I'm just killing time. Or what did you do yesterday? Wasted time. Or like, I killed the time. Well, time is not money. Time, I often say, time is life. Time is access to existence. While you are alive and you still have time, that is the currency through which you have access to existence. And I totally agree with him that existence is the highest virtue. But again, this won't sound like something that most people can relate to because, again, in our bubble, what is really encouraged and incentivized is just the opposite of that. Hey, just spending hours on TikTok or Instagram mindlessly scrolling. Is that okay? Sure. Millions of people do it every day. And that is like millions and billions of hours of wasted potential, human potential. And we somehow normalize that. And I believe that we really need people like him that have the resources, but also have, you see, not just the resources, because many people have the resources, have the money, but people who actually are willing to put their whole financial, I guess, financial acumen in the service of something greater than the individual. You see, he is working at the level of humanity, at the level of species. And of course, he is building also a business around it, because many people would misunderstand this thing like, oh no, he is just like selfish, he wants to become rich. He is already rich. He could just, if he would want, he could, with that money, he could do what other rich people do. He could just like buy drugs, get drunk every night, and do all sorts of things that will ruin his life. But he doesn't. He built himself as a unique individual, like really like a hallmark in the longevity space. And he uses the money he has to research, to map out new territory where no one else has done it. For, I guess, centuries, we have asked ourselves the question, what is our purpose? Why are we here? What is life? And collectively, we have struggled with this question for such a long time. And eventually, now we are going to be forced to find the answer to those questions, because with AI and everything going in unpredictable ways, things changing so rapidly, now we no longer have the time to just ponder onto the question, like, what is my purpose? Now you have to figure it out. And it's almost like it sets us in a new direction. Like, maybe purpose is not something that you have to search and find, but maybe purpose is something that you have to set and decide. And this is exactly why right now we're going to be forced to decide what is our purpose. We will have to find meaning, but not find in that sense of let me look for it, but build it and decide it. So he is also right about the possibility of mass psychosis, because, well, we thrive on having a balanced, steady map of our reality. So that goes to say that we like to understand what's going on. We like to understand where is the world going, where is our place in that world, and to have at least some sort of stability in that understanding. But when you no longer can predict, or at least reasonably expect, where your life is going to be in few months from now, then all of that stability, all of that reality goes away. So therefore, we cannot even understand what is going to be the direct result of that. But mass psychosis is definitely, it's going to be pretty close to what you could reasonably expect. So what do I believe is the solution here is, well, understand that things are no longer going to be how they used to be. Like, whatever, depending on what is your age and how much experience you have being alive, if you have a few decades of that just before artificial intelligence, understand that the golden rule here is that you should expect the to be surprised, and not necessarily in positive ways, but that expectation at least is going to set you in the right direction to be ready for change, not to resist it, not to fight it and demonize it like, oh my God, things are not good and AI is going to do this and that, and just trying to fight that which is already here. I think the first thing that we can do is just accept that, yeah, this is not just happening, but it has been happening for some time, and it's always going to pick up. It's going to have like not just gradual increase or of momentum, but more like it's going to start to shift into exponential increase. And then we are really going to be in trouble, because if right now we feel that things are changing too rapidly for us to keep up, imagine what will happen in 5 years, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. The more you go in the future, the less you can feel certain that you can predict that. Even if I say right now 5 years, which is it's not like a lot of time, you cannot really predict where your life will be. And if you cannot predict that, this is the living proof of what he is saying. That we don't know how we're going to solve this, but we know it's happening. So then be prepared and get ready. And here, a lot of people would be like, okay, get ready, be prepared. What should I do? I'm like, just first break down that understanding that things will continue how they used to be. Get away from these predictive patterns. I used to look at the past, and I use the past to predict the future. You have to get rid of that, because this was the main way that we try to predict, and that is really not going to be accurate anymore. You can no longer look at your past and predict the future. So in order to really at least start to gradually shift, is you have to let go of those really patterns of what you used to rely on, and just try to observe, try to like start to notice where things are going. This is one of the reasons why I watch podcasts like this, is because, well, I'm trying to have my own understanding of where things are going. And I figured that if I listen to smart individuals, multiple different conversations, I can really have like a pretty good idea of at least what's going on, and just like a tiny glimpse of what it could be, or where things could move. So you in your life, if you recognize that, yeah, I can see it, I can see what's going on with the world in general, maybe my friends and co-workers, but also me myself in my life. If you can see that, you have to wait and stop being passive about it. You see, most people adopted this kind of like passive attitude towards it. They're waiting for other people to figure things out, so then they will understand what happens, right? But I'm saying, well, that's not really good, because you are going to allow other people to just choose the direction without you having any say into that future. Well, I believe that this is a future that we build together. And of course, not everyone will want to participate or will be able to participate, but just just really giving yourself the chance to engage with agency, and not really just accept passivity. I think it's a good, I guess that's a good starting point. If everyone would do that, eventually we would have more chances to figure it out together. If everything is good and there is no danger on the horizon, of course life is more than just survive. But if there is a danger, if there is a war, if your life or the life of the loved ones is in danger, surviving is the ultimate virtue. Like, just passing over this, make sure that you are alive tomorrow, that is really worthy at the highest level. So also not to say that within that virtue, existence itself, existence means a lot of things. Existence doesn't mean just don't die, it doesn't mean just survive, but existence also has this element of like you are free to play out your potential because you exist. Existence doesn't mean just I'm here. It means I also can do things. I can grow myself. I can change things. I can alter my environment. I can better myself. I can serve and contribute to my environment or to the universe itself. Existence is not just I'm here, but I'm also, because I'm an agent of life, I can be active. And that element of being active means anything and everything. So therefore, the beauty that Chris is asking for is not really in the existence or the act of existing, but embodied into what that means and the playing out your potential. What I believe really is necessary is for individuals who actually watch someone like him to take this as a project, not just something that sounds good. Oh yeah, it will be a good idea, but really to think about this in terms of something that they can practically do, a project that they can really work on. And he even explains it like, look, right now, for example, the status is in certain area, right? But if we change the way we see our lives and we change the whole moral framework, then even if you start working and building projects in that framework, you will still get status because individuals who actually contribute to really build something together, eventually, if they are useful, they will be recognized. So they get status and you get the resources and you get everything you want. But what is really needed is basically two things: for people to really get his idea, and for other people to actually start projects like this. Like, okay, he just gives an example. How about we just map out all the companies that are bringing or are making people worse, like all the scrolling, losing your focus, all of that. Why don't we do that? And eventually, some people will actually start projects. They will build businesses around this. Really, the challenge here, if you would ever consider something like this, the challenge is that you would go against the norm. And at first, not just that you have to build an entire market, but you also have to explain your business to people, to everyone who won't understand. Because at first, if you start something like this, a project like this, say, you know what, I want to do something good in the world. I don't want to bring bad. I don't want to use people. I don't want to make money while I make other people unhealthy by selling stupid products. I want to contribute something good. Well, chances are, if you start something like this, is that you are going to become the freak. And also, the insidious part is that the market is not really going to it's not going to easily validate your business, so therefore less chances that you're going to make money with it. So therefore, it's like the incentive structure would not be built for you. But gradually, if enough people start and stay committed to the purpose, knowing that this is something good, even if money is slow to come and there is no recognition, there is no status, and everyone would call you a freak, eventually things will shift. With enough people and enough momentum, things will shift. And when they shift, then everyone is going to want to build something good for the world and contribute to society and just not sell bad things. And they will even start demonizing the companies that sell or produce something bad to society, but not yet. That's the point. We live at that point where if you bring some product or service that really affects humanity, but you make money with it, you're going to be cheered on, you're going to be applauded, and you're going to be recognized as high status. So this change might take years or even decades, but really, I guess like it's a matter of just having the first individuals who will go over the resistance and do it anyway. What we need is more people to watch videos like this and take it as a project and be ready to be ostracized, to be ridiculed, but really for them to continue to act on a vision and on a deep, meaningful purpose, and not letting themselves being persuaded by the shiny objects, by the but by what is really encouraged by everyone else. And that is going to be difficult, but I think that eventually it's going to happen, because I believe it's time. It's time for people to collectively change. I'm seeing signs of this, and for now they're not really super encouraging, as in like, oh my god, it's happening right now. But I can see that some individuals really think more than just money, and that's encouraging. Some entrepreneurs who start businesses, they also think about long term. They think about the impact. They think about how can I not just make money and build a business, but make sure that I'm also contributing something. I'm guided by purpose. I'm bringing something of value. And yeah, the numbers are not encouraging for now, but I think we're heading in the right direction.